Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Startup Central with me, Sumita Kareer, and today on the show we're talking about a surge that quick commerce companies and e-commerce companies which have their quick commerce verticals, the kind of surge that they have seen in terms of sales for the festival of Rakhi this past weekend. And joining us now to discuss more trends and more details in terms of sales as well is now Sundar Balasubramanian. He's the CMO of Myntra. Thank you very much, Sundar, for joining us here on ET Now. Thanks for taking the time out. I want to first understand from you an overview of shopping trends that have been observed during the festival of Raksha Bandhan this year on your quick commerce platform and your main e-commerce platform.
Thank you, Sumita, for having me here. Yes, it's been a very exciting start to August for us with Raksha Bandhan. We saw early signs of it in the last week of July, and there's been a little bit of the initiation of the festive fervor that we always look forward to in e-commerce, and we've seen that happening with Raksha Bandhan. Overall, as a platform, we saw growth, and in places where we have Myntra Express, which is our 24 to 48 hours delivery, we've seen even higher uptakes. And the highest has, of course, been where in the 3 cities where we have Myntra Now, which is our 30 minutes delivery. We've seen over a 1.5x growth in orders and customers in these 3 cities or during Raksha Bandhan versus the prior period.
When you talk about the growth that you have achieved, you mentioned about 1.5x growth in these cities, but could you also give us a sense of the overall quantum of sales that you've witnessed and the average order value?
I won't be able to comment on exact numbers, but let me give you reference points. When we see customers engaging with Myntra Now, we see average order volumes kind of increase between 10 to 15%. This is in effect because they transact more often on the platform, and also because basket size tends to increase. Basket size we've always seen whenever there is a festival involved, be it Valentine's Day, we saw similar growths. We saw it during the initial rush of the summer holidays. We saw a lot of travel growth. And now from a Raksha Bandhan perspective, we saw a lot of spike both on the fashion and apparel side, especially on the premium gifting side. That's where we saw the highest growths.
All right, so you're suggesting that premiumization as a trend stood strong as far as your platforms are concerned, both quick commerce and e-commerce. But Sundar, do you anticipate a period or a time where perhaps sales on your quick commerce platform are going to exceed those ones on your e-commerce platform?
I think we're quite early in this. I'm sure there will be a point in time when it would catch up in some specific geographies, but we're fairly early at this point in time. We have 3 cities that are currently on where we have Myntra Now, which is the 30 minutes delivery. And what we are excited about is couple of things. One, as I said, is growth in basket size and growth in transactions per customer. But also we've noticed about a 70% growth in new customers in these 3 cities during Raksha Bandhan. So it's a good kind of mix of new customers coming into the platform thanks to Myntra Now, and also the existing customers buying more.
Right, so existing customers are buying more, and of course there is a 70% growth in terms of more customers coming onto your platform, which is good news, not just for you, but for the overall quick commerce industry. Sundar, but let me talk to you about this particular offering, that is M Now, your quick commerce offering. You said that you're at the moment present in Bengaluru, where you ventured the first, and then you moved on to Delhi and Mumbai. It's not been a very long period of time when you ventured into these 2 markets, but where is your quick commerce offering shifting to next? Could you give us an indication of that?
Well, I mean, we are in a stage where we are initiating, piloting, stabilizing, and then, moving on to next cities. We've gone from Bangalore to Delhi NCR and Mumbai over the last 6 months. And as we stabilize and grow these, during festive and beyond, we will look to expand to more cities.
All right. I want to now get your views on growth expectations for the festive season, particularly for M Now and your e-commerce platform.
So Festive always does well across the lifestyle categories that we participate in, right? We've seen these growths year on year happen to us. From an overall platform perspective, we were roughly at about 70 million monthly active users last year. We should be upwards of 80 million this year. From a new customers perspective, we are looking at 20% plus growths there. So that's the kind of planning that we are in. I mean, we are in the midst of the planning cycle, to be honest, but those are the kind of growths that we are looking at as we get into Festive. Everything on M now will be, of course, much more turbocharged than the overall platform numbers. We are looking to, as we expand, we will expand in depth of offering in these 3 cities and hopefully get to more cities too.
All right. Of course, you're looking at getting to more cities, and of course, you'll be looking at piloting this offering in more cities before you actually go on now with a full-fledged launch. But Sundar, let me ask you, in terms of average order values, you did speak about that, but what about volumes? Were the volumes great when you talk about your quick commerce platform, particularly for the Festival of Rakhi?
Absolutely, because volume comes across multiple pieces, right? For a festival like Rakhi, we see it across many buckets. You see a lot of volume come in just buying Rakhis themselves. So that is very, very huge. Second part of it is from a gifting perspective. Premium gifting is something that consumers at large turn to us for, and specifically on mNow. And it's very interesting to see some of these between a Delhi and a Mumbai versus a Bangalore, and how each of them play out from a gifting perspective. And third is, of course, fashion by itself and beauty, which are the mainstays. You see a lot of premiumization happening there, even if it is, for example, in Delhi, we saw a 70% growth, 7x growth in kurtas, which was very interesting. Whereas in a Bangalore and a Mumbai, we saw a 5x growth in our gifting or premium gifting options, which included brands, for example, like a Tommy Hilfiger gifting or something like a Mac gifting. So it's been a good mix of Rakhis driving volume, premium gifting, and fashion driving the value.
All right, so premium fashion and of course premium gifting, that was driving these numbers and these values that you really saw on the platform, especially as far as mNow is concerned. But what are your growth projections, Sundar, as far as your e-commerce platform is concerned? I mean, of course, a lot of attention and a lot of energy has shifted to quick commerce platforms. But what is the growth that you're anticipating for Myntra overall as an e-commerce platform? Do you think there's going to be some sort of slowdown in e-commerce as a category due to quick commerce and, of course, the speed of deliveries that it undertakes?
Well, we have sensed and seen really good growth, and we are very optimistic as we head into Festive. If Raksha Bandhan is anything to kind of give us an indication, between our main platform, Myntra Express, which is 24 to 48 hours, and Myntra Now, which is 30 minutes, we are seeing very strong growth. And if the kind of growth we've seen in Raksha Bandhan plays out, we are in for good times in Festive overall. As I said, we are gunning for user growth to go from anywhere from 70 million to 80 million plus, new customer growth to be 20% plus. So those are the goals that we are kind of planning for.
Right, Sundar, let me also talk to you about the categories that you're seeing, this sort of growth that you have mentioned, 70% of growth in new customers, 1.5x growth in your mNow platform. Will you be foraying into multiple other categories, given that for Myntra at least, it's fashion, beauty, lifestyles being your key?
So predominantly, that would be the focus for us right now. From an mNow perspective, we have over 90,000 SKUs that are available, and this is across 600 leading brands, and they span everything from apparel, rest of fashion, beauty, and home accessories, right? All of these are what we offer to our customers. And the beauty of a lot of e-commerce is that it gets tailored to customers at a pin code level. As we learn more and more about customers and their choices, we keep tailoring the mix for each of them. So that's really where the industry is headed, and we're very excited seeing the growths that we are.
Sundar, just a couple of few more questions before we let you go. When you talk about categories, of course, you have mentioned that, fashion, lifestyle, home decor, that remains to be your focus, but you will not mind venturing into other categories as well. Can you give us a sense of consumer trends from each of these cities? For example, when you talk about consumers from Delhi when they ordered on your mNow platform versus consumer behavior of, your buyers who were based in Bengaluru, for instance.
I could talk about some of the recent pieces that we saw. Where in Delhi, for example, as I said, we saw a 7x growth in kurtas. That was much stronger and higher than any of the other two cities. The other two cities saw their deltas coming out of gifting, and this gifting was across handbags, watches, perfumes, accessories. All of those is where we saw Bangalore and Mumbai index on, whereas Delhi indexed on a lot more on apparel, specifically, as I said, kurtas. But in this mix is also a lot of, both global brands. We see a lot of Tommy Hilfiger, Mango, Armani Exchange sell. But we also see a lot of the D2C or Indian-born brands also selling really highly. So it's quite interesting to see how this cuts across. And as I said, it's early days, so we are still trying to learn and sharpen our offering to each of the pin codes. That's the process of learning that we're on as we expand this.
Absolutely, Sundar, and it'll be interesting to see the kind of trends that you witness for the festive season, and of course the upcoming Independence Day sales. Whether your Independence Day sales cross, the kind of sales and the kind of volumes that you have garnered for Raksha Bandhan, that remains to be seen. But stellar growth, which has been recorded on mNow, and we do hope to have you back on the show whenever you're piloting in other cities aside of these three key cities that you talked about. Well, on that note, thank you very much for taking the time out once again and speaking to us here on ET Now.